Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This video is gonna be my bronzer collection and swatches. I already filmed the blushes. I figured let's do bronzers and then I'll do highlights and then we'll go from there. This was easy. Like I was able to grab all of my bronzers, well, most of my bronzers fit in this one thing. I have a couple, a lot still on my desk, and then I have like contouring palettes or like bronzer palettes still in the drawer, which we will do these today. If it's a bronzer highlight, not like a contouring highlight but highlighting highlight, those like a duo thing, these will be in my when I film my face palettes. I will include these. My camera is just like holding on by a thread over here because I'm trying to get a good view. So if you do enjoy collection videos, swatches videos, please go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Now let's go ahead and get into it. Now that I showed you this, I'm gonna go ahead and move it out of the way. We'll work one section at a time. I'll show you what I have, I'll swatch it, and then we'll move on. I'll try not to burn my hands. When I filmed my blush video, the weather was just so cold and like really dry, and from washing my hands so much because I swatched, oh, my hands hurt really bad. I'll try not to do that this time. Let's go ahead and get into it. I gotta close the window, it's pretty noisy. Okay, hopefully I didn't forget any of my bronzers. Before we get started, let me see how many bronzers I actually own, and that would include like a bronzer palette or, you know, contouring palette. At this point I have 60 bronzers. That's not so bad. I thought it was more. Oh yeah, I did a declutter. Okay, let's get into it. Let me move this out of the way and then we can get started. Okay, we'll go ahead and get started with the ones that are here on the table in front of me. So we'll just do these, and then we'll start tackling the ones that were in that plastic container. Whew, let me take a breather. All right, now I don't know where to start. Let's go ahead and start with this Too Faced one. I do have other Too Faced ones, but this was in my everyday makeup drawers, so I pulled those in so I don't forget them. I'm gonna start with this guy. This is the Beach Bunny by Too Faced. I think, let me see, I don't know if they still have this one around. I know they changed the packaging. Their milk bronzers used to be in this packaging, and I know they changed those, but I don't know if they kept this bronzer or if they went ahead and got rid of it. But here it is. I was holding on to it for the longest time. I hadn't tried it, and I finally, when I pulled it into my stash, I tried it. I actually really enjoy it. Just swirl all the shades together. So there's that one. Next, let's do by Too Faced. I also have the Gingerbread Tan. This is a spicy bronzer. I do really like this guy. It has that beautiful like satiny finish. It smells so good. I'm gonna go ahead and swatch that over here. It's a little bit deeper than the other one, but there it is. There's the second bronzer. I'm not gonna keep saying first, second, or third because I will lose count. By Kimchi, this is Taylor bronzer, and this is the shade 2. I went to Waikiki. I do really enjoy this one. When I swatched it, when I first got it, I thought it was gonna look a little bit too orange on me, but it's actually really pretty. Actually surprised that it swatches a little bit more contoury than this guy by Too Faced. I do like both of them. Actually really enjoyed this guy. I would recommend it. Next, let's do those Becca ones. I have Becca Sunrise Waves, which is this one that has like the highlights on the side, and I have Becca Capri Coast, which is one that I think I'll try to finish up or pan next year. I do have a really nice dip into this, so let's go ahead and do those. Just trying to keep my fingers clean. Ooh, here we go. There's Capri Coast. Some bronzers might not swatch really well, but you know, we get the gist. And then here's Sunrise Waves. I would use it just swirling everything together And there it is. It's a little bit more glowy than Capri Coast, but I do really like the formula of these, both of them. I really like the formula. So there's the ones by Becca. I think that's it from Becca. I don't have anything else, bronzers, but I do have a couple more, you know, like the Too Faced, I definitely had more. Okay, let's go ahead and do these ones. I have by Bare Minerals. This is the shade Warmth, and this is pressed. I do have it in a loose form as well, but we'll just swatch this one first. They're so hardly pressed in here. Like the formula is pretty, you know, hardly pressed, but there it is. I do really like this bronzer. It looks so natural on the skin. Let's do Marc Jacobs. This is Tantastic. Yes, this is the Omega bronzer and the shade is Tantastic. This bad boy is gigantic. I do really like how big the mirror is in here, because if you need a mirror, just grab for that and you go. It's so buildable. Looks really good on the skin. By Charlotte Tilbury, I have the Airbrush bronzer. This is in the shade 2 medium. So let's swatch this guy. The formula of this one is really pretty too. It's just like the pan size of this and this, I'm probably set for a few years. Yeah, so there's the Charlotte Tilbury. It's a little bit more warm tone than the Tantastic by Marc Jacobs. And then I have the Gucci bronzer. This is Eclat Soleil and the shade is 3. I kept the packaging because it's just so pretty, and look how pretty it is. This has a wonderful scent to it too. It just smells so good. Let me clean my hand and let's do a swatch. It does come with a little brush, and I think it's a mirror there. There it is. It's a little bit deeper than the Charlotte Tilbury one, but it's a really good bronzer. And it has that beautiful scent. Is that a mirror? Yeah, it's got a mirror in here, and there's the brush. Okay. And yes, I'm keeping it in the pouch as well as the box. And then the last one that's right here in front of me on my table is this one by MAC. I just picked this guy up. If you guys saw my haul recently, this is the Skin Finish Natural Bronzer, and the shade is Give Me Sun. I've been wanting this guy for forever. I finally picked it up from Ulta. I hope I like it. Okay, there it is. Okay, looks pretty nice. We'll see how it goes. So there they are. These are the ones we started with. Alrighty, moving right along. Let's go ahead and talk about those ones over here. I think I tried to pull in all of my MACs this go, and then there's just a couple of just other brands. Let's actually start with the MAC ones. I'm gonna go ahead and start with this MAC Aaliyah bronzer. It's called the shade is called Baby Girl. This is a very, very light bronzer. You can definitely build it up. So here's this one. It has a really beautiful, like very fine glow to it. So there's this guy. Let me show you how like easily it builds up. Look at it, but the formula is just so good. So there's that one. Also by MAC, and this is the Biana bronze. This was like their Pearl collection. This is a matte bronzer. It has no glow to it whatsoever. This is a little bit deeper. It's definitely a bronzer that I need to save for the summertime, but there it is. I love those. Couple more by MAC. This one is probably the oldest MAC bronzer in my collection, and this is the shade Refined Gold. That's so pretty. It's a little bit deeper than the Aaliyah one, but it has that same like glowiness almost. See, it's a little bit deeper. These are like best bang for your buck kind of bronzers because gosh, like last forever. I tried to pan this guy a couple of years ago and it just didn't go anywhere. And then the last one by MAC is by the Aladdin Collection, and this is Your Wish Is My Command. This is another one that I have to use in the summertime when I'm really tan because this is deep. There we go. Plus, I love the embossment on this guy. Like, look at that. Wow, beautiful. Next, I'm gonna go ahead and do this Hourglass one. This is the shade Luminous Bronze Light. This is definitely on the lighter side, and it's glowy, so it's kind of like, I mean, every time it's kind of like, is this even a bronzer? But on the skin, on the face, it looks amazing. Like, you can barely see it this way, but it's so beautiful on this face. Very natural looking. So there's that one. By Nars, I have Laguna. So here's Laguna. I have two by Nars. I don't know why that was just looking, okay. Come on, I know you're there. There it is. I know you're there. There's Laguna and then Casino, also by Nars. This is just a little bit deeper, and I think they had just changed the packaging from that one to this one. So definitely deeper. There it is. Okay, let's go ahead and do the Bare Minerals bronzer, and this is the shade Faux Tan. I mean, this looks kind of scary, but it does not look this scary on the skin. Definitely more like a contour bronzer kind of, you know, like you don't need one or you don't need both. You can just use this guy and it just does both for you. I really like these. The Bare Minerals, like, surprised by some of them how great they are. By Buxom, I only have this one. This is Staycation Vibes, and the shade is Rooftop Tan. I think they have two of these. This is a hefty compact. The embossment is really beautiful. Again, I would swirl both shades together when I do want to apply it. This is probably like the most, it looks kind of like very orangey on my skin tone. Probably the most orangey one, but it's pretty. It's not like a bright orange. It's very subtle orangey shade. So there's that one. I do have, I'm trying to fit quite a few on here. Let's do this Laura Mercier one. This is the shade Ritual. This is the baked blush bronzer, and I do use this guy kind of as a blush and a bronzer together. So if I were to use this one, I'm not gonna use a blush, and it's pretty deep, so it's definitely a summer shade. But there it is, really deep. Why did I think it was more blushy, but it's not. So there's that one. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and clean up, and then we'll keep going. All right, moving right along. I tried to keep those makeup erasers right next to me so I don't have to constantly get up and clean my hands, but I think at some point I'm gonna have to do that. Let's do more Too Faced. I guess this is Too Faced Sweetie Pie. This is the Radiant Matte Bronzer. This is so beautiful. Radiant Matte. Okay, not sure what that could be, but there it is. Oh, the formula of this guy is so amazing too. Very subtle. I do have another one by Too Faced right here. This is a Too Faced Bronze and Poreless. This is probably the oldest bronzer in my collection and the one that I just love, and I just need to go ahead and pan it because it's so subtle and buildable, and just makes the skin look amazing. So there's that one. Can you even see it? It's kind of like, did I bronze? Who knows? So there's that. It's not like that obvious, oh, you went heavy-handed with the bronzer. Let's do a couple more Too Faced. This is Too Faced the Pineapple Sun. This is like the strobing bronzer. I guess this is supposed to be a bronzer and a highlight. You're supposed to use them separately, but these pans are too small to be used separately, so I typically swirl them together. But let me go ahead and so there they are separately. I mean, how would you even use them separately? Like, what kind of brush can I use that would pick up this bronzer and this highlight separately? Now, if I swirl them together, there we go. That's swirled together. Okay, by Too Faced, this is the Milk Chocolate Soleil. This is a mini. I only kept a mini. Well, I had a couple minis, I think. I used some, and this is the last one that's left. Again, this is another like really buildable bronzer. These are like the subtle bronzers. Okay, moving right along. Let's do this one. This is by Gigi Gorgeous, and this is the 6 Sculpt Bronzer Duo Turn Tint Extra. This is like a bronzer and a contour. I know I said I was gonna do palette kind of thing separately, but I don't consider this a palette because, you know, it's one pan. But I do apply them together. Now it looks a little bit muddy. Ooh, my finger was a little wet. Oh, that was not a good thing to do. So let's reevaluate. There's that one, and there's the contour shade. I guess contour always kind of looks muddy. So there's that. Okay, I'm gonna try to fit a couple more in here. Let's do this Maybelline City Bronzer, and this is the shade 200. I do really like this one. The formula is really good, and no, it's the shade is pretty good. Cannot use as a bronzer contour. Kind of see, like, it's very similar to the Gigi Gorgeous. Like if I were to swirl the two together, you know, with Gigi Gorgeous, this shade, I can get that with the Maybelline one. Let's do this e.l.f. Primer Infused, and this is the Forever Sunkist bronzer. This is another really good formula bronzer, and just so nicely subtle. It's not like bam in your face, I bronzed. There it is over here. Okay, more bronzers. Essence Sun Club Matte Bronzing Powder. I had two of these. I had the deeper skin and the light skin. I kept the light skin, so I'm gonna start swatching on my other arm. This is, again, reminds me a lot of the Marc Jacobs. It's so buildable. The formula is really nice, very subtle, you know. So there's that one. By Ofra, I have Bronzer Americano. This is kind of a very glowy bronzer. When I first got it, I wasn't sure how I feel about it. Like in the pan, it looks like it has shimmer particles, but it doesn't translate really as shimmer. So there it is. By Ulta Beauty, this is the matte bronzer, and the shade is Warm. So there's Warm by Ulta. This is a really good bronzer. Some of well, a lot of the Ulta like Ulta brand products I do really like. They do a good job with them. So there's that one. Cover FX Duo, and this is the lighter one of them. This is the Sunkist Bronze. So one side is the bronzer and the other side is the highlight. I know I shouldn't have done that, but it's not really a highlight because it's like bronzy, you know. I said I was gonna do duos separately, but here I am doing it together. So here they are. Okay, a couple more. I have by Benefit, I have the shade Dallas, and I keep going back and forth between having this one in my blush drawer and then back in my bronzer drawer, because it is that kind, like, you know, you can just use it as both. Right, I could use it as both. Look how pretty that is. That just looks so nice. So there's that one. By Bare Minerals, I have the shade Warmth and Faux Tan in loose form. They're the same as, like, they're the same shade as the, you know, the pressed formula, but here, these are a little bit difficult to swatch. I'm gonna go ahead and skip doing the other one because these are just difficult to swatch. You just need a brush and they apply beautifully. Let's move on. I think I can fit two more on my arm, so I'm gonna do this one. This is the Coffee Bronzer by I Heart Revolution, and this is the shade Latte. Look at that. Look how pretty that is. This is a deep bronzer, and like it translates deep onto the skin, but it's really nice. So there's that one. And then by Too Faced, this is the Sweet Hearts bronzer, and the shade is Sweet Tea. So there's this one. I love this guy. This is a beautiful bronzer. Again, I would swirl the two shades together when I apply it, so I went ahead and did that right now. All right, let's move right along. Have a couple here by Milani. Let's do those first. This is Milani, the shade 03 Suntan. This is the Silky Matte Bronzer. I have the shade 01 and 03. I'm gonna go ahead and swatch both. Pretty close to each other, I guess. So here's 01. It's so subtle. Like, I guess it's not that subtle compared to some of my other bronzers, but there's 01. And then 03 is much deeper. There's 03. So one is good for me for summertime and one is good for me for wintertime. So there's that. Also by Milani, this is the shade Dolce Baked Bronzer. This is really beautiful, you guys. Look at this one. This is so beautiful. I'm about to drop it. Again, another subtle, just like a glowy bronzer. There it is. There's that one. Let's do, I guess we do Physicians Formula next. I do have the Bronze Booster, and this is the shade Light to Medium. There's that one. Butter Bronzer in the shade Light Bronzer would be this guy. I happen to really like the scent of these. I know some people really don't. That's another really light bronzer. Can be really built up. Maybe too light for me, but there it is. And then the shade Bronzer is the other one. This is a little bit deeper. This is probably my better shade match. But there's that one. Oh, that smells so good. It smells like very coconutty. There it is, like a vacation. Oh boy, I have more Too Faced bronzers than I thought I did. We'll go ahead and leave those to the end. Let's do this Makeup Geek one. This is the shade Sunkist. This is another really subtle bronzer. Kind of looks like, is it even a bronzer? No, a little bit like that. So there's that one. Definitely can be built up. There it is. I shaved my arms, man. By e.l.f. This is the golden. I do swirl all of these together, so I'm gonna do that. There it is over here. This is a very old product by e.l.f., but I still really like it. Let me do Kylie next. This is the shade Tequila Tan. Very subtle, but here it is. It's a nice formula, actually. There's that one. Let's do this Morphe one. This is the shade, this is the Glam Bronze, and the shade is Icon. We're almost done, actually, with powder bronzers. We'll do creams next, and then we'll do palettes. This one is a wonderful one, actually. There's that one. Now let's go ahead and do this Too Faced one. This is Too Faced Soulmates blushing bronzer in the shade is Ross and Rachel. I do not use that blush, but I do really like the bronzer in here. So this stays in my bronzer drawer. Very similar to that Morphe one. And then I have this like a, what do they call it, bronzing wardrobe. This is by Too Faced. This is the Bonjour Soleil bronzing wardrobe. There's Chocolate Soleil, Sun Bunny, and Snow Bunny, which is more of a highlight, but I'm gonna go ahead and swatch all three. Chocolate Soleil, Snow Bunny, Sun Bunny, and Snow Bunny. There they are. Yeah, so that was it for, well, actually, it's not really it. This would be it for single bronzers. This is my my Z palette of bronzers. So what I have in here is, this is by Too Faced. No, this is by The Balm. This is like one of their, I think it's Oliver. I don't know what this one is. This is by Makeup Geek. That's a contour shade. This is Hula by Benefit. And this is also by The Balm. This is one of their newer, no, this is Bahama Mama. Not newer. Why would it be new? Let's go ahead and do these. Let's do this one first by The Balm. I think this is Oliver. Maybe they changed the names of these because they were kind of like, what did they call them? Like the Olympics thing. So there's that one. This is Bahama Mama right here. Cult classic. There's that one. Let's do Hula by Benefit. There's Hula. Let's do Makeup Geek. This is a contouring shade. I can actually look up what shade this is. I might have wrote it on the back. This is pretty deep, so it's definitely a a summer contouring shade. And I can't remember what brand this was, but it came in Ipsy and I really, really liked it. No, it's tiny, but I kept it in here. So there it is. Another contour. It's this one by Makeup Geek. This is the shade Complicated. It's a cool medium contour. So this I put together myself, depotting other stuff. Now that concludes all like single stuff. What's left over here is like highlighting palettes, contouring palettes. So let's go ahead and do those. And then the last thing we'll do, actually, maybe we should do creams first and then we'll come back to these. So let's go ahead and do the creams. I don't have that many. I only have 4. I have Bondi Bay by Nude Sticks. I love this thing and I'm almost done with it. This is all I have left. Can you believe it? So there's Bondi Bay. Ooh, I love this thing. The other one by Nude Sticks is the shade Sunkist. This is another beautiful one. This is still brand, well, almost new. With certain foundations, this looks absolutely stunning on the skin. Look, it's brand new compared to the other one. So there's that one and they blend beautifully. So there's that one. Let's do the cream bronzer by Fenty Beauty, and this is the shade Macchiato, 03 Macchiato. There's this one. This is definitely more cool tone. Kind of very similar to the Bondi Bay, or more similar to Bondi Bay than it is to Sunkist. So there's that. And then the last one, cream, is by Wet n Wild, and this is the shade Oaks on You. Kind of like a Jokes on You. There's that one. Okay, those are the only cream ones I have, and I do love them, and I need to pick up more creams. Okay, now let's do the ones that are kind of like dual pans like this. This we can't do right now. Let's do those 2 dual pans. This is Wet n Wild Dolce de Leche. I'm gonna do the bronzer. I don't need to do the highlighting side, but here's Dolce de Leche. I had the other one of these, which was what, something toffee, but it was just the bronzer was just too deep. And then by LA Girl, this is the Pro Contour Powder Highlight and Contour, and this is the shade Light. This is really deep for being light. So here's that. Or I wouldn't say really deep, but it's deeper than light. So there's that one. Next, let's go ahead and do, since I have some space on my arm, let's do these 2. This is the Too Faced Cocoa Contour, and this was the light one because they ended up doing another one and they totally discontinued these. What I'm going to swatch here is the dark cocoa and the medium cocoa. This is very contoury. This is very warm. So a contour and a bronzer. Well, I picked up too much. I need to show this guy a little bit more love, honestly. I remember saving up for it. This is when I first was getting into makeup when I was in college. I wanted that thing so badly, and now I just don't use it. There's Light Cocoa and Pop of Light. This is kind of like a highlight, but it's kind of a sucky highlight. I mean, I wouldn't choose this to highlight my face, but I do like a, you know, this is supposed to be a shimmery highlight, but it has chunks in it. Where this is just like, you know, a highlighter, like a setting under the eye, highlighting points of the face. I do like this one. This I hate. The brush in here, amazing. Next up by Ace Beauté, this is the Bronzed in Paradise. I don't think I've used this guy yet. It came in a BoxyCharm, so let's go ahead and swatch them. I mean, I definitely cannot use this. It's just way too deep for my skin tone. But the other shades I could use. Maybe I could use that as eyeshadow, but I don't really need to. So there's those. See how deep this is? And I did a really bad job with those swatches. I just tried to fit them in as much as I could in my arm so I don't have to go wash my hands one more time. So there's that one. I need to play with this palette a little bit. It looks like it would be a really good formula. And then by IBY Highlight and Contour Palette. This is another one of those highlight and contour things. So I'm gonna go ahead and swatch just the deep shades in here. I mean, highlighting shades do you care for? Maybe you do. Oh, that looks too pink. I don't know why I'm still holding on to this one. Now swatching it, it's kind of like, does this even work for me? Come on. This looks so weird, doesn't it? I'm gonna have to try it on my face. It looks like I really dipped into the highlighting shades, but it doesn't look like I dipped much into these contouring shades. I'm gonna have to give this guy a shot and try it out on my face and see what I think about it. Because that was kind of very underwhelming, very funny looking shades. I mean, look at this guy. What shade is this? Is that purple? Yeah, I gotta play with this one. I gotta see what I think about it. And then by Smashbox, I'm not gonna swatch all of this because there's highlighters in here as well. But this stays in my, maybe I'll just swatch it all and just be done with it. This is the last, was it last product I have? I have this one too. I forgot about it. I just picked it up. And somewhere, somehow, I lost my e.l.f. duo, like the bronzer duo. The shade was Coconut. I don't know how I lost that thing. I can't seem to find it. So let's go ahead and swatch these bronzers in here. This is the contour and this is the bronzer. This trio is their like it's they sell these separately. Like this is a trio that Smashbox sells. They call it their contouring palette. I do love these, and the highlights in here are pretty freaking amazing too. Do I want to do the highlights today, or do I want to save them for when I do highlighters? Maybe we'll save them for highlighters. But this palette stays in my bronzer drawer because it just fits there. And now the last thing is by Koki, and this is the powder contour palette. I just got this guy. If you watched my haul, oh no, darn it, damn. Okay, gotta be a little bit more careful. So here's 1, 2. I gotta swatch them so I don't. Oh man, that was bad. That was a really bad swatch. Okay, let's try that again. 1, 2, and 3. They're really powdery. Really powdery. Okay. Here we go. It's better, I guess. Between this one and the IBY, which one was this was the IBY one. I like this one better, honestly. So there's the one by Koki Cosmetics, and I just made a big mess on my table. I think this is it. I think these are all the bronzers that I have in my collection. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I cannot, for the life of me, I cannot find that e.l.f. duo. If I find it, it's gotta be in my what is that called? My face palettes. I do have this guy as well. This is the Charlotte Tilbury highlight and bronzer, and this will be in the face palette as well. It stays in my bronzer drawer, but I'm gonna swatch it with the face palette. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. Please subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.